It was an evening like any other, or so it seemed. The sun, a glowing orange orb, was sinking behind the tall coconut trees that lined the coast of our village. The rhythmic sound of waves crashing against the shore filled the air, and a gentle breeze carried the scent of salt and wet sand. But in the midst of this serene beauty, something unusual was happening. Queen Zai, our beloved ruler, had returned from her journey to the northern territories, and with her was a child, a girl, no older than 10. We had all gathered by the gates of the palace, curious about the newcomer. It wasn't common for Queen Zai to bring back strangers. The queen was known for her wisdom and fairness, but she had never taken in anyone from outside the village. Yet there the girl stood, barefoot, her dress torn and dirty, her eyes wide with a mixture of fear and awe. She looked lost, as if the weight of the world rested on her small shoulders. Her name, we soon learned, was Nala. Nala had no family. Her parents had died in a storm at sea, their small boat capsized by the furious waves. She was the only survivor, alone. She had wandered the coastline, hungry and cold, until Queen Zai found her near the edge of the northern forest. The queen, known for her compassion, had taken pity on the child and brought her back to the palace. From that day forward, Nala became a part of our village, though she was unlike any of us. Queen Zai, childless herself, raised Nala alongside her own daughter, Princess Asha. The two girls were close in age, but they couldn't have been more different. Asha, the queen's daughter, was lively and full of energy. She loved to dance, to sing, and to play with the other children in the palace gardens. Nala, on the other hand, was quiet and serious. While the other children played, Nala could often be found sitting by herself, watching the waves or gathering herbs from the garden. There was something about Nala that set her apart. She had a natural gift for healing, even as a child. I remember one day, not long after she arrived at the palace, when one of the village boys fell and scraped his knee while playing. The wound was deep, and the boy cried out in pain. Before anyone could fetch the palace healer, Nala knelt beside him, her small hands gently covering the wound. She whispered something under her breath, words none of us could hear, and when she removed her hands, the bleeding had stopped, the boy's pain vanished, and in its place, a calm settled over him. Word of Nala's gift spread quickly through the village. People began to whisper that she had been touched by the spirits, that she was destined for something great. Even Jalia, the palace healer, took notice. Jalia was an old woman, wise in the ways of medicine and herbs, and she had served the queen for as long as anyone could remember. She took Nala under her wing, teaching her the art of healing, passing down knowledge that had been in her family for generations. By the time Nala was 13, she had surpassed even Jalia in skill. Her touch could heal wounds that others thought impossible, and her knowledge of herbs and plants was unmatched. People from neighboring villages began to visit the palace, seeking her help. It was clear to everyone that Nala was no ordinary child. Despite her growing reputation, Nala remained humble. She never sought praise or recognition for her work. She was quiet and unassuming, content to live in the shadows while others basked in the spotlight. But Queen Zai noticed. The queen had always had a special place in her heart for Nala. She saw in the girl not just a healer, but someone who could one day lead, someone who could guide the village with wisdom and compassion. As the years passed, Nala and Princess Asha grew up together, like sisters. They were close, but their bond was complicated. Asha was the daughter of the queen, destined to rule one day, while Nala, though loved and respected, would always be seen as an outsider. There was an unspoken tension between them, though neither of them ever acknowledged it. Everything changed when Prince Malik arrived. Malik was the son of a powerful king from a neighboring kingdom. He was tall, handsome, and charming, with a smile that could light up a room. He had come to our village to forge an alliance between our people and his. It was a strategic move, one that would strengthen both kingdoms and ensure peace in the region. From the moment he arrived, it was clear that Princess Asha was smitten. She blushed whenever he spoke to her, and her laughter rang out louder whenever he was near. The queen, ever the diplomat, saw the potential for a union between Asha and Malik. A marriage between the two would solidify the alliance and bring prosperity to both kingdoms. But there was one problem: Nala. No one noticed it at first, not even Nala herself. But as the days turned into weeks, it became clear to me that something was happening. Nala, who had always been so focused on her work, began to change. She became more withdrawn, spending less time in the palace and more time in the forest, gathering herbs or sitting by the river, lost in thought. I tried to talk to her, but she brushed me off, insisting that everything was fine. Then, one evening, I saw it with my own eyes. I had gone to the garden to collect some herbs for Jalila when I spotted them, Nala and Prince Malik, standing together by the fountain. They were talking quietly, their heads close together, and though I couldn't hear their words, I could see the way they looked at each other. It was a look I had seen before, a look of longing, of love. My heart sank. I wanted to believe that it was just a moment, that Nala would never betray her sister like that. But as the days passed, I saw it again and again. They were careful, always meeting in secret, always keeping their distance when others were around. But the truth was clear, Nala had fallen in love with the prince, and he with her. I didn't know what to do. On one hand, Nala was like a sister to me. I had known her since she was a child, and I couldn't bear the thought of seeing her hurt. But on the other hand, Princess Osha was my future queen, and I owed her my loyalty. If I told the queen, it would destroy Nala, and if I said nothing, the secret would tear the palace apart. In the end, I chose silence. I told myself that it wasn't my place to interfere, that whatever happened was between them. But deep down, I knew that this secret couldn't stay hidden forever.